why one Lincoln couple has a greater rooting interest in this year's Olympics. Those stories and much more coming up. But first, your AccuWeather forecast.
Most of us are going to see a perfectly normal day today. According to our almanac in North Platte, for this August 2nd already, we're seeing 89 degrees today. Normal, 89 degrees, not breaking that record of 108 degrees set back in 2008. Norfolk, more of the same. We're well into that normal range of temperatures. 83 is our forecasted high today. Normal is 86. 1930, we saw a record high of 106, and that is definitely on the safe side. Over the next few days, we are going to start feeling that humidity go back down as drier air continues to work into our region. By 3 p.m., we're going to see 52% humidity in Norfolk, 61% humidity in Kearney, to 41% in Thetford. Still, the farther west we go today, especially in the Panhandle, the Sandhills, into our central communities, we could see some of that haze in the sky from the wildfires all the way from the north in Canada. 89 degrees today in North Platte, 83 in Norfolk, 83 in Columbus.
All right, thank you, Morris. There's a live look at your Great Dane trailer sky cam in Wayne, Nebraska, 8:01 Central Time. A little bit of a haze still. Eastern Nebraska still dealing with some of the fallout of those wildfires up in Canada. If you're the type of person who's affected by that type of thing, might be unhealthy still to be outside and doing any type of activity. But the temperatures right now, it's unbelievable. 54 right now in Wayne. How nice was it to sleep last night with the windows open for a change? Mostly sunny skies in Wayne, and as Morris mentioned, a perfectly normal day. Highs hovering right around 80 in northeast Nebraska today. Morris has got his full AccuWeather forecast coming up for you later on this hour. But first, let's get you back to news, beginning in Omaha, where police say an arrest has been made related to the deadly shooting of a 45-year-old woman. Police say 22-year-old Sir Tommy Sutton was booked into Douglas County Corrections on charges of homicide and a felony weapon charge. Police say 45-year-old Jennifer Hickman was found dead at the scene at North 43rd and Ohio Street early yesterday. She was pronounced dead at Nebraska Medical Center. Another 41-year-old man was treated for non-life-threatening injuries related to the shooting incident. In other news, lawmakers making progress in the long effort to pass an infrastructure bill. Senators stayed for a rare session yesterday to put forward finalized text for the measure. Reed Binion reports.
I want to congratulate the members of the bipartisan group for their efforts.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer announcing Sunday that a bipartisan group of senators has finalized the legislative text of the roughly $1 trillion infrastructure bill.
We haven't done a large bipartisan bill of this nature in a long time.
The massive bill, coming in at more than 2,700 pages, is the result of months of negotiation, with Democrats and Republicans finally reaching a deal last week.
I've enjoyed the time we've had together. This is a bill which is paid for and that gives the American people they desperately need, and that is an upgrade in our infrastructure.
Republican Senator Mitt Romney on the Senate floor cheering progress on the bill and also taking to Twitter to underscore the bipartisan nature of that progress. Schumer took the procedural step of submitting the group's text as the substitute amendment, making it the base of the bill. The Senate will consider additional amendments to the bipartisan framework.
I believe the Senate can quickly process relevant amendments and pass this bill in a matter of days.
Republican Senator Susan Collins says she believes at least 10 GOP senators will back the bill, which should be enough for it to clear the Senate.
This bill is good for America.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
The United States making progress with COVID-19 vaccinations. As of Saturday, more than 346 million shots have been administered in the U.S. That's according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Saturday was also the fifth straight day of at least 700,000 shots delivered. The CDC says 49.6% of Americans are now fully vaccinated. 20 states have fully vaccinated more than 50% of its population. The latest states on that list: Colorado, Hawaii, New Jersey, New York, and Virginia. Nebraska not among them. Alabama and Mississippi, the two states with the lowest vaccine percentages at 34 and 35%, respectively. A southeast Nebraska teen urging her peers to get the COVID-19 vaccine. Marley Stones is a junior at Crete High School. She had a mild case of the virus last November. She said she lost her sense of taste and smell, but didn't think anything of it until she stepped on the basketball court in January. When she couldn't make it up and down the court without losing her breath, Marley went to the doctor, where she was diagnosed with post-COVID syndrome, a COVID-19 long hauler.
just because you're healthy, just because you're young, doesn't mean COVID won't affect you, because that's definitely what I thought. I thought, well, I'm young, I'm healthy, I'm just going to get it and get over it. I didn't realize there was going to be this big of an impact.
Now, Marley says it's important that teens know they don't have to go through what she has if they get the COVID-19 vaccine. She says, thankfully, a recent MRI showed there isn't permanent damage to her heart, though she's still using beta blockers to help with her breathing. The Nebraska Humane Society helping a variety of pets find a safe home year-round in the Omaha metro area. This past weekend, NHS opened its doors for some animals in need from outside the state. They received 10 neglected dogs who were rescued from a large case in Ohio. The ASPCA was able to work with local authorities to remove the dogs from a trailer and help them find a new home.
It's the greatest thing ever. I'm so lucky to be a part of this and have a job like this, because we see these dogs that get a new lease on life. They get a new family. They get loved and treated the way all dogs deserve to be. And we're really excited to be a part of that.
Now that the new guests are here in Omaha, they'll get the proper care from the vets and more in preparation for their new forever homes. Still to come on NCN, Zoom paying an 8-figure settlement. We'll get into that next and have much more. You're watching News Channel Nebraska. Welcome back to NCN, 8:07 Central Time. Zoom has agreed to pay an $85 million settlement in a lawsuit over data privacy and Zoom bombing. The video conferencing service, which became essential during the pandemic, at one point was plagued by hackers. Customers complained that their private meetings were being interrupted by people shouting profanity or sharing pornography. In response to the lawsuit, Zoom Video Communications says it's improving security and safeguards for consumer data. Under the settlement, some paid subscribers will be eligible for 15% refunds on their Zoom subscriptions over $25, whichever is larger. Before the proposal's final, a federal judge in California will have to approve the deal. An expert on historical monuments shared stories about Nebraska's small towns over the weekend. The Hastings Museum hosted Humanities Nebraska speaker Jeff Barnes yesterday. The museum hosts speakers from the organization twice a year, always trying to feature someone who coincides with an exhibit. This time, Barnes highlighted the Adams County on Main Street exhibit that focuses on small towns.
Adams County on Main Street really focuses on the small towns, so not just Hastings, but kind of those smaller towns that people don't often think about, and they don't really know that kind of those untold stories with those small towns. And that's kind of what Jeff is talking about, is kind of that unknown history, that forgotten history.
The Adams County on Main Street exhibit's now open and will be on display through October. A Central Nebraska art event celebrated its biggest ever turnout over the weekend. Art in the Park was held at Libbs Park in Hastings yesterday. Organizers said they wanted to feature as many artists as they could this year and got a great response, with 62 vendors coming out.
2 years ago, I had 54, and then last year with COVID and some restrictions, I had to cap it to 40. So this year I thought, let's fill the sidewalk, let's fill the park.
In addition to the artists showcasing their work, they also had food trucks and even caricature artists with lines of people looking to get their portraits done. And Team USA has more than 600 athletes in the Olympics, and one of them has grandparents in the capital city. They were glued to the TV Friday as their 28-year-old grandson competed in what would be his first medal in the triathlon relay. Kevin McDowell competing in his first Olympic Games. He placed 6th in the triathlon last week. 6,000 miles from the Tokyo Olympics with a custom flag hanging on their balcony, the Risings were cheering their grandson on.
I'm more proud of him as a man he's become, but this is quite an honor that he's worked hard for.
The Risings made Team Kevin Tokyo 2020 shirts. The proceeds go to Cal's Angels, an organization for children with cancer that helped Kevin when he was sick with Hodgkin's lymphoma. Time for today's live daily mass at St. Isidore's Catholic Church.
Today's morning mass is brought to you in part by these